Hello, my friends. Welcome to the World War Access channel. I'm Mauricio and today's topic is Benito Mussolini. Okay, so we're going to start with this topic, introducing you Luz Jimena, which is an Italian historian.
Hello, Mauricio. I'm going to talk about the dictator's youth and rise to power. Benito Mussolini was born the 29th of July 1883 in Dobbia di Predappio, Italy. His father, Alessandro Mussolini, was a metal worker and a socialist, while his mother, called Rosa, was a devout Catholic school teacher. Mussolini was named Benito after Mexican leftist President Benito Juarez. Therefore, as a youth, he was an active, ardent socialist. In 1901, he received a teaching certificate and worked as a teacher for a short period of time. In 1902, he moved to Switzerland to promote socialism. In 1912, the Maximalists, led by Benito Mussolini, prevailed at the Party Convention, and this led to the split of the Italian Reformist Socialist Party. Nevertheless, he was expelled in 1914 because he favored Italy's entrance in World War I. The outbreak of the war had resulted in a surge of Italian nationalism, and the war was supported by a variety of political factions. The Italian Socialist Party decided to oppose the war after anti-militarist protesters had been killed, resulting in a general strike called Red Week. On March 23, 1919, Benito Mussolini founded the Fascist Party, which organized several right-wing groups into a single force. The fascist movement proclaimed opposition to social class discrimination and supported nationalist sentiments, and was given the authority in 1922 as prime minister. He gradually dismantled all democratic institutions. By 1925, he had made himself dictator, taking the title of Il Duce, the leader.
Oh, that was really great, Luz. So, for the next part of this topic, we will introduce you with Regina Corona, which is a specialist in political science.
Thank you very much, Mauricio. Now I will talk with you about the economic and political ideology of Mussolini. Mussolini's ideology was one of fascism. Fascism consisting in a governmental totalitarian rule over the people, taking over even their opinions and feelings. Anyone who opposed this regime would disappear or be publicly executed. Fascism was based on chaos, uncertainty, and rebellion. It stresses the importance of the state above the people. All individual rights and privileges are eliminated in favor of supporting the government. The Fascist National Party, as it called itself after 1921, was governed by a fascist Grand Council headed by Mussolini, also called Il Duce. However, the country was not completely headed by him. He had small fascist leaders controlling every city or town in Italy. The base of the fascist movement was the black-shirt foot soldiers, known as the squadristi. These fascist squads were controlled by a local boss or a ras. Mussolini not only demanded direct control over Italy, but demanded the African colonies be turned to fascism as well. The Libyan subjugation was a genocide to the Cyrenician people under Mussolini. Mussolini invented the economic policy of economic fascism. This ideology was praised throughout Europe by other countries that were starting an autocratic or totalitarian government. Mussolini's ideology was based on a complete dependence upon the government. The state knew best, and that was enough reason to leave everything in its hands. A strong ruler must not let the laws of the state interfere with any changes he makes or the legislators he writes, as it will make the state better. This meant higher taxes, no trade freedom, and little room for improvement for the Italian people. Because Mussolini centralized the economy and established big bureaucracies, the government caused more economic chaos. Mussolini's ideology left Italy in chaos after World War II. It had lost a war and not gained much for its people. Italy was ready for a change, and the neo-fascism almost completely disappeared by the 1950s.
Okay, so that was really interesting, but let's continue with the topic. Today we have here with us an expert from the history department of the Harvard University, which will be presenting us actions and participation in World War II from Mussolini. His name is Alejandro Morcillo, and let's go ahead.
Thank you, Mauricio. While Mussolini understood that peace was essential to Italy's well-being, that a long war might prove disastrous, and that he must not march blindly with the Germans, he was beset by concerns that the Germans might do good business cheaply, and that by not intervening on their side in World War II, he would lose his part of the booty. His foreign secretary and son-in-law, Count Galeazzo Ciano, recorded that Mussolini at first agreed that Italy must not go to war. Then he said that honor compelled him to march with Germany. Mussolini watched the progress of Hitler's war with bitterness and alarm, becoming more and more bellicose with each fresh German victory, while frequently expressing hope that the Germans would be slowed down. When Germany advanced westward, however, and France seemed on the verge of collapse, Mussolini felt he could delay no longer. So on June 10, 1940, the fateful declaration of war was made. From the beginning, the war went badly for Italy. After France surrendered, Mussolini left for a meeting with Hitler, sadly aware that his opinion meant nothing to him. Indeed, from then on, Mussolini was obliged to face the fact that he was the junior partner in the Axis alliance. The Germans kept the details of most of their military plans concealed for fear that prior discussion would destroy surprise. And thus the Germans made such moves as the invasion of the Soviet Union without any advance notice to Mussolini. It was to pay back Hitler in his own coin, as Mussolini openly admitted that he decided to attack Greece through Albania in 1940 without informing the Germans. The result was an extensive and ignominious defeat, and the Germans were forced unwillingly to extricate him from its consequences. When the Western Allies successfully invaded Sicily in July 1943, it was obvious that collapse was imminent. On the 25th of July of 1943, Mussolini was stripped of his powers by Vittorio Emanuele III and placed under arrest in a mountain resort in central Italy. Italy surrendered under the leadership of Pietro Badoglio on the 8th of September, and the Italian military simply disintegrated. A few days after Mussolini's arrival at the mountain resort, however, Hitler dispatched commandos on a successful rescue mission. Mussolini was later placed in power by Hitler in northern Italy as the head of the Italian Social Republic. During this time as a puppet leader backed by Germany, he wrote his memoirs, My Rise and Fall. On the 27th of April of 1945, near the village of Dongo, Mussolini and his mistress, Claretta Petacci, were caught by communist partisans as they attempted to flee to Switzerland. On the next day, they were executed in the village of Giulino di Mezzegra and hung upside down in public in Milan.
Oh wow, well that was really great information from your part, and well, thank you for everything. Now we're going to pass to the next topic with Manuela Vitia, which is going to present us the dictator's human rights violation from Mussolini.
Thank you very much, Mauricio. Well, now I am going to present you the human rights violations during Benito Mussolini's dictatorship. The Article 7 from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was violated by Benito Mussolini government because the fascist principles stated discrimination among the society of Italy, where a great number of civils were discriminated from their race, color, or sex, creating a big inequality among the country, dividing it in different social classes. The Article 18 was violated in a severe way because the freedom of thought, conscience, and religion was lacking among the country during that period of time. Most of the people who wanted to express their own idea were severely punished, arrested, or exiled by the Italian government. The Article 19 was also violated during his dictatorship. The right to freedom of opinion and expression was inexistent during that time because of the fascist rule. Just a very small number of the society could rule their country, expressing its own ideology. But the ones who wanted to create revolts for changing the way of thinking among the nation were severely punished or exiled from their country.
Well, fellas, that was a lot of information to process today, so we will see you in the next episode. So subscribe to the channel and leave your comments.